I'm going to talk about dynamic systems. Think about dynamic systems on the way up. I will let you look at the view of this small cliff right outside the town where I'm living, up in Norwegian coast. We have a bridge here. Why use it? Let's take the difficult path, sort of. Taking the difficult path because the way towards the goal, to the target, is actually what everything is about. Once you reach your target, then you're done. There is nothing more. And it's getting steeper. It will get way worse before we get to the top. But it isn't far. It's not a long walk. So, what are dynamic systems? Is it only rockets and machinery and so on? It isn't. It can be a biological system, like the recent virus pandemic. That could be something we could model as a dynamic system, and then we can analyze it, find out, learn how it works. As you can see, it's quite a nice trail up here. Steep and nice. Yes. So, biological systems like the virus can be modeled into a dynamic system that we can investigate. We can simulate it. We can find out characteristics so we can learn about it and do something wise and useful to fix things. To prevent unnecessary cost to society as a whole. Another type of dynamic system could be an economic system. C.S. Forrester down in the 60s, that's way back in time, just before my time even. He wrote a book which I learned about from my professor or teacher in kybernetics and dynamic systems at school. He referred to this book, and many years later I found this book and I bought it. I have it in my bookshelf. Books are nice. But the world has moved on. And today we have so much better ability and tools to utilize dynamic systems theory to fix and change economic systems, like electricity. Price of electricity has become a disaster. Not only down in Europe, but especially here in Norway. Businesses, especially small businesses, of course, small private-owned businesses, they suffer the most. then you have everyone. I thought I was the only one having 12 degrees in my kitchen. Because with clothing and so on, I have clothing for an Arctic expedition at home. Why not use it? Turn off the heat. Don't need to pay unnecessary bills for that. But then I found out this is not uncommon. This is not me. This is like most people do it like that now. It's a degradation of society. Destruction, destructiveness. A very, very failed philosophy and policy behind this electricity bill disaster. As usual on those alpine hazardous Sunnmøre climbs, on those high mountains we encounter a difficult section, a hummer, to negotiate just before we reach the very top. And here it is. It is, as you can see, absolutely no way to circumvent, to go around this. We have to climb this, and we have to climb the steepest, the worst, the highest part of it. So we will climb it, and then we will get back to how we can fix electricity prices. That means I will climb it. You don't have to. So, electricity prices. As I can make a software that can fix this. You can predict the price of the electricity, the best possible price, according to a goal function you set. And this price is then based on information, weather, time of day, what happens, so on, historical data. This can be made using AI, of course, but that's not necessary. Not need to overcomplicate. And we also want it to be predictable compared to what we have now. And here we are at the top. It's not a glacier on top, it's more of a rocky outcrop. And it's not entirely Arctic in vegetation and so on. Almost. Here is the Sunnmøre with the mountains again. This in the far distance here. This is the triangle behind the trees that you can't see. It's Blåbrettinen. This mountain has one of two lines I never got to ski. I'm not going to tell you where the line is. It is not on this side of the mountain. We have Sulen, the mountain. You can also go skiing. North side is nice. It's the city. In the far distance is Godøyen. Godor. Nice for beach trips, climbing on the cliffs. So this is how it is. This is the path way down, the trail goes there. You don't get to see this because I need to have some speed, exercise, fast. It's a struggle, but you need to do it. Other sorts of dynamic systems, we can look at political systems and decision making. For instance, how are opinions created? How do we choose which side in a matter, in a conflict, about anything? How do we choose which side we fall on? Can this be predicted for a larger crowd? Yes, it can. And we can model this into dynamic systems. And then we can simulate it to learn about it. Then we can make appropriate actions. These kinds of dynamic systems are far from rockets and machinery. Slip control on a car is a typical dynamic system with the dynamic control algorithm. And a political system where you try to estimate, predict opinions from a crowd, that is based on the same fundamental theories, but it is something very different of a system. This is dynamic systems. Oh, now back down.